Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Oshinoko episode number 8 reaction. The previous episode, it was a very good episode. First, what happened was we had to deal with the whole Akane situation, and what we did was basically that we get the footage, like the background footage, the what do you call them, the behind the scenes, yeah, those things from the staff members, and we like let that go out into the social media and outside to the world so that people can see what is going on. And especially the footage of Akane apologizing to I forgot the girl's name. Oh no, the girl who got hurt. Like apologizing to her, and like them actually, like like having fun, like having fun together, like acting as friends. All those things. Like we were able to bring that out in front of the world, and little by little, it kind of like went down. People started realizing what has happened, and yeah, even though the whole criticism didn't go away, because this is the internet. Nothing you can do about it. It'll always remain. People will always bring out what you have done 10 years ago or whatever, even if you haven't done anything wrong, like the false, like things. So yeah, that will still remain, but still, like it was like a good way of coming back. And yeah, everything went like like became normal, and obviously Akane was happy with the whole situation. And then we got to see how Akane became grateful towards Aqua. So she asked him, what do, like what type of person do you like, like. And Aqua has always said that, oh, like I Hoshino. And she decided to imitate Ai, and she is a master of her craft. As we got to know, she is the like a master of theater. And like Aqua was like, oh no, you will never be able to like act like I. But she came in completely, her mannerisms and everything like I. And Aqua was just astonished. So from there onwards, we're going to resume, I'm guessing. So let's see what happens in this episode. And another thing I realized in the previous episode is the star in the eyes is actually not a physical mark or something. It's like a it's like a symbol, like a symbolize, saying, the talent or the emotions of the character, or like the stardom, that type of thing. So that is basically the reason of the star. I've always found it weird that since Aqua had two of them, and his children had like one of them, I always found it weird that how did people not figure out that they're like mother and child. But it makes sense now. It's not like a physical thing. But anyways, let's begin. This is episode number 8. Let us get started. So yeah, I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. So here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. Here we go. Young star performer. Yep, that's what she was doing. She goes fully into the whole. Wow. Exactly. But she's good for, and as an actress, as a drama. Yeah. Wow. It's like, what the hell? So is she going to keep that persona up in front of her friends as well? Probably not. Yeah, because she said that, because she said this is a persona in front of the camera. Or maybe not. She's keeping the persona up. Damn. Well, it is a drastic change. So everyone's like, yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Wow. Well, because, yeah. What what type of pouch is that? Yo. He's like, yes, okay. Because like I was kind of like his mother, so because that's why he's kind of used to listening to the wow. Wait, is the camera rolling? No, it's not. Okay, never mind. She reverted back. Well, wow. Ah! Yo, she's just. Oh boy. I can see that. Race horse corner. What the? Wow, okay. Well, she got triggered seeing that, obviously. Oh, yeah, because. Hmm, probably both. It's like a mixture, like you cannot really draw a line. Like, like. Aku akka. Damn. Mm, well, damn, the whole dull. That's crazy. The whole dull atmosphere went colorful as soon as she came in the. That was interesting. Yeah. Senpai. No, he's probably going to say something. Calm down, listen to him where he wants you to go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wants to go someone. What the? Oh, okay. Baseball. Why is he like? Why is it like? Is this like? Well, he doesn't have any friends, so I guess that's true. Hmm. Hmm. And that's why it's you. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's what I was saying. But nah, this is better. Like without any pretense. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. I don't think he's thinking about that. Yep. Well, it's great. Yeah, that's true. Wow. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. Hmm. Okay, stop. I thought she was going to say something very serious. Well, she's like, okay, okay. Oh no, wait, she's even older. Oh, that was a good throw. That'd be kind of interesting. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, like the fact that Akane had to change her persona for him to like that in itself shows. That helped as well. Well, research. Mm. Yeah, she was doing that. She just assumed so many things and made like a setting. Oh my god! Yo! She's smart as hell. Yeah, mathematical puzzle? Oh, wait, that might actually help him. That might actually help him, because he's trying to find out. And her eyes, the star showed up again when she was saying that. Wait, what the hell? She rejected him? Uh, oh. I was saying this, like he would be like, oh, since she can read the thought patterns, she might actually help me out with trying to track down the father. Okay, wait. Mm, mm. Wait, I wonder why Yuki rejected. Oh, probably because of Akane. Oh boy, I feel like he's gonna say like yes or something. Because he needs her. Wow. Mm. Mm. That is true, if you think about it. Mm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can imagine that happening. Uh, yep. He got a wake up call after Aqua gave him the whole lecture. Oh, he's getting information from him. You better give a you better give good information. Yeah, so you're mm, Well, I don't care. Great. Yeah. Yeah, talk about the what happened. Oh, okay. Wow. He did his research. Oh my god, come on. Alright. I guess they need like a place to properly stop and talk. Well, oh, here we go. Yeah, that is true. But I f- mm, yeah, well, she can read emotions, right? Hmm. Yeah. She's like, yeah, at least that's a good start, you know. At least he's interested in me in some way or the other. Oh, wait. Ah, is that why they didn't really. Yeah, but I guess that's because, yeah, she didn't want anyone to know. And I feel like that another thing she wanted to do is make Akane take the, like, like the spotlight, because, like, she went through a lot. Mm. Neighborhood. Yeah, they've been together for a long time. They were nice people, genuinely nice people. Okay, was that okay? That was real. I thought for a moment I thought he was acting or something, but no. Before your time. Even they even took the name Bikomachi, like Ruby and so yeah, people are going to know more about them. Oh, well, nice. Come join us. Idol slash YouTuber. Let's go. She's going to recruit her. There you go. I knew this was coming. Well, obviously from the opening. New Bikomachi. Yeah, well, she said that she wanted to be an idol. Wow. Yep, she still wants to be an idol. The spark in her eyes. That was a really good, opportunity for her. As she said, I've always wanted to be an YouTube idol, but wasn't able to become. So now she's getting an opportunity. Hmm. Okay, that's it. Or is there something else? No, that's it. So, this episode. Yeah, this is the ending of the reality dating TV show, and yeah, quite a few things happen. So let's talk about it. At the beginning, we get to see how Akane obviously like took in Ai's persona completely, and it was like at such a level that even Aqua was just flabbergasted. He was like, "What the hell am I seeing? Looking in front of in front of my eyes," and so like here we go. Like as they say, it's the fact that she is a in theater she was like the best, she is the best, but here she was struggling so much because this was like actually you have to like and this is like not really acting, this was like you have to be yourself at the same time kind of act like like a weird in the gray zone, this whole uh this reality TV show, dating TV show was. So that is why she was struggling so much. She was like wasn't able to properly do it. But as soon as Aqua was like she decided to take in I's persona and make like a persona, she became so good at this. And I feel like this is something that would have been helped her out so much if she decided to do this from the beginning. The fact the kind of the thing was that she didn't realize that it would go in this direction. That is why she never like really made a persona for herself in front of the camera. Like yeah, they tell like obviously the TV show was like, oh, you try to be yourself, like there's no need to try to act like someone else, but not necessarily you have to follow that. You can easily make like a persona for yourself as well. Like you don't have to act like other people, but act like make like a shell for yourself, like a mask, that type of thing, which everyone does. Like obviously like everyone does that. Like not only in acting, in every type of situation when you talk to some stranger, like you do a different way of like you kind of talk to them. Unlike if it's like your friends, you talk to them in a different way. So that type of stuff. So the fact that she didn't do that from the beginning was the mistake that she made. And you see how she started getting better and better in this whole thing when she decided to take a persona. Like her way of like like the whole thing, like the whole TV show kind of changed, where she started becoming more and more popular. Even like like a lot of people started talking about her, and a lot of people started shipping her with Aqua as well. Like unlike the original pair, which was Yuki and Nobu. So this was her way of like like shining in this stage. In this stage where you're not supposed to act like someone else, this was the way she could shine, and that's what she did, and that is why like everything went well from that point onwards. And she obviously she wants to like act like I, because Aqua said like like talked about I, and she did her research, and now she's like completely taken in the persona. Like everyone was like just surprised. Everyone's like, what the hell, like who is this? And like everyone was just so surprised, and you see how Aqua was like this, like way of interacting, this energy immediately attracting everyone. You know, like it's the same as I had, and like her mannerisms, everything, like the way she moves, the way she talks, like everything, her behavior is like completely like a photocopy of uh, I. And even the staff members were like just surprised. They were like all like, "What the hell is happening here?" Okay, so here we go. She had a strange magnetism that kept their eyes fastened on her. A, a charisma just like eyes was also exhibited by Akane. So okay, so now here Aqua's not Aqua, sorry. I is like not I. What the hell is wrong with me? All of the names start with A. I'm just Akane. Akane. Yeah. So Akane was like, oh, like Aqua, I've heard that you actually helped with the video and everything. Like, thank you so much for that. And they're like talking, and everyone's like, hey, you see what's going on over there? Like, like we can pretty much see that Aqua. God damn it, Akane has is different here. She's acting different. What about Aqua? He's also kind of acting different, isn't he? And that like do a little experiment. I love how I love how Memcho's like, all right, you know what? Let me do something. And she's like, hey Aqua, like give me that pouch. And he's like, you do it yourself. Akane is like, oh, like it's beside you. Why don't like you do that? He's like, okay, sure. Gets it, and Mim just like, you see that? You see what's happening over there? And immediately they're like, oh, so this is what's going on, huh? This is the new Akane. You like the new Akane, hi, Aqua? And they start teasing him, and you can see like he's like blushing and everything, and then he leaves. And Mimcho's like, wait, is this for real? Is this actually happening? And they're like, and you can see that even Akane got a little bit embarrassed. Like her threshold went a little bit above her threshold, and she reverted back to her original form. And they're like, oh, will you like pursue this like like in real life as well or something? And Akane is like, like I wouldn't be, like I wouldn't be, like I would like that, yeah, definitely. Now here's the thing. The reason why I feel like Aqua, like like as soon as Akane said that, oh, like it's just beside you, why don't you give that pouch to her? The main reason why he did that is because he, obviously looking at Akane, he found his mother, that is I, in Akane's mannerisms and everything. And I feel like that is exactly the reason why he followed as soon as what she said, that, oh, that's just beside you, why don't you give it to her? Because like I is his mother, so like how much, like at what age did I die? I don't know, like at 5, like I'm talking about the kid's age. I'm not even sure what age, I don't remember. But whatever age it was at least like he spent at least 2 to 3 years with like I'm talking about Aqua. And like like he says later on as well, if you remember that part, later on he kind of explains it, that your mannerisms and the way you like look at the world and everything, it changes. Even though you're like, he's like an old man inside of the body, when he's a kid, his way of looking at the world and his like mannerisms and everything kind of portrayed a little kid. And then like like as a teenager it was a little bit different. Now as he's going more and more into an adult territory, he's like becoming more and more like, his mannerisms are becoming like that, which really makes sense. Like if you're like stuck in a kid's body, obviously your body and everything will be different. And even if you are a freaking old man inside your body, your soul is of an old man's soul, like still the body, it also like is going to influence something within you. And that is why I feel like as soon as Akane was like told him to do something, he immediately followed. Because yeah, I'm sure he did that when his mother told him to do something, because like she was your mother. So that is why I feel like he immediately followed what Akane said, because Akane genuinely, he like got the vibe of I inside Akane. And uh, got that feeling. And that is why, like, the way she was saying, like, oh, it's just beside you, why don't you do it, like, just like how I would say. He immediately was like, in his head, he was like, okay, sure, because he's used to listening to his mom. That is why. I think that's the, like, biggest reason why he did that. Because, yeah, like, he was quite distracted at that moment as well. If you remember, like, in that scene, he was kind of distracted thinking about something. So when, like, like Akane said, he kind of unconsciously did it. Because, yeah, he, like, like Akane is acting like I, who was his mother, and I'm sure his mother, like, asked him to do stuff, and he did it and followed it, because, he's he's her child. So that is why I think that's the biggest reason. But obviously they don't know that I was his mother, so obviously they won't be able to realize that. But yeah. So anyways, so here you can see Arima's like gets pissed off, and Arima's like, like, I can't be bothered with this. I hate this show. I hate everything in this show. I hate the whole concept. I hate this whole, like, like shipping other people, watching other people's love life, like, like, uh, develop. And he's like, I don't want to see this. I don't even want to watch Aqua's face either. I'm leaving. Bye bye. Just leaves. And Ruby's like, Mom, is that you? Looking at the screen, she's like, Mom? Oh, that was kind of, yeah, okay. Now, anyways, so yeah, obviously Arima's not happy with the whole situation, like obviously. So then we see that Aqua's like looking at the laptop, his computer, and he has this whole flow chart, and the different people that I had like connections with. Popular blogger Mimika Miwa, I of B Komachi 20, Metropolitan University student A, and it's like a lot of other people, like, one after the other beside, like, Aqua. So this is like the flowchart he looks at, I'm guessing, for his investigation and all. And he's thinking, like, I never really understood I, even though I was a child. It was very short amount of time to understand anything about her. And yeah, so, like, he's confused. He's like, what exactly is I to me? Is she my mother? Am I her fan? Or is it something completely different? Now, you know what? I get this feeling, like, obviously you like, what can I say? Like, how, like, this is like a whole, like, I feel like this is like a running joke about how Aqua loves, like, like a whole meme kind of thing. I feel like at this point, like, like everyone's like, oh, like, like, because, like, of the past connection and everything. But, like, genuinely talking about it, I get the feeling that that is not the case at all. Like, it's not like this whole, like, yeah, he was a fan of I, but that doesn't mean that he genuinely, like, loved her or something. Like, none of that. And then literally just after that, just after his death, he became her kid. So in no way that the affection that he feels for I is romantic love. In no way. I know that. I'm like 100% sure about that. Like, he himself is confused as well. You can see that. But I can guarantee you this, that is not that type of love, because, like, it's like a what's that word, uh, like a fascination, or like an attraction, like an adoration, like a someone, like, like, you're like, the person that you kind of like, in any type of celebrity, like, business, showbiz, like, stuff. I'm sure there's a few actresses, singer, like, and maybe someone, like, like any type of people like that, who you adore and who you follow and who you love. Obviously that doesn't mean that you romantically love that other person. Obviously not. That's not the case. And that is the similar thing um with him as well. And then after meeting I, like, as her gynecologist, you saw how he was caring, like, for her, and, there's no romantic love over there. And then he died, and then he came as his child, and then from that, like, like, adoration as a fan, from that it converted to, like, a love for your parent, because he became her child. So like it's like a mixture of those two. In no way is that romantic love. I don't think so. It'll be, I don't know, like it's, at least this is what I think. I don't know how this anime is going to go, in which direction it is going to go, but I don't think that is the case. So yeah, it's like a mixture of like a love a fan feels for his or her uh, like hero, or like heroine, whoever, and a love a child feels for his father or his mother, that type of thing. It's a mixture of those two. And yeah, anyways, so I feel like unless and until, like as we get to see later on the whole Akane situation, unless and until he starts liking Akane for herself, in no way is this relationship going to go forward. You know, like in no way is it's going to happen, because yeah, if he starts liking Akane for herself, her own personality, her own original personality, then that's a different case, like then maybe the relationship will go forward in the future. But if it stays like this, in no way is that happening. So that's the whole situation. I think so. That's what it is. But either way, let's see. So after that, you can see Arima's like walking in the road, and everyone's like talking about like the whole like shipping the pairings of the show, and they're talking about Aqua and Akane, and they're like, oh, maybe because they worked together and went through this like this situation, like Akane likes Aqua now, and Aqua cannot really uh, like can't really do anything in this situation. He's also very embarrassed, and he's also getting like kind of starting to like her, and as always like people chip in these type of situations. So yeah, and this part was so crazy. You see this whole color palette here, it was so dull, and then Aqua comes in, and Aqua's like, Arima, can you come with me? And the whole scene becomes so colorful. She like she's just beaming. Oh boy, this is very funny. This part, the way the whole color palette changed of this scene, crazy. Okay, so Akane is like, no, sorry, not Akane. Arima's like, oh, like you're telling me to skip school? Ah, like I can't believe you. I can't believe you that I'm actually skipping school because of you. And but she's so happy, just beaming and just like smiling throughout the whole way. And she's like, all right, you know what? I have the heart of an angel, so I'm going to go with you. Where do you want to go? And she's like, Disneyland, Tokyo Tower. And he's like, yeah, none of those places, like. And she's just so excited about this thing, and then Aqua's like, all right, you know what? Come with me. Takes her to the to the it's like a field. At first I thought it was like like those baseball rings, the places where you bat and ball, those things. It's not even that. He took her to a field, a normal field with with the whole baseball glove and the baseball, only the glove. There's no baseball bat here, anyways. And Arima's like, what the hell is this? Like, is this why you wanted me to? And she's like, you even went and bought a ball and the baseball glove. And she's like, and he throws the ball to her. She kind of fumbles a little bit, and she's like, you see how bad I am at this? You could have easily asked anyone else to do this. And I'm like, no, he probably couldn't, because he don't have any friends in school. The only people he knows are those people from the show, Ruby and you. No one else. A few others as well, but they won't play with him. Like he does know a few other people, like what's her name? Miyako? No, Miyako, yeah. And then that director, that producer, whatever his name is. But obviously they won't play with him. So the only people he could ask in this situation were his school friends, not school friends, sorry, his work friends, and Arima, and maybe Ruby. And she says that, she's like, you could have asked Ruby for it, and he's like, what are you on about? Like, I can't really ask Ruby to skip school and play baseball with me. And Then she's like, then what about your friends in the work? And he's like, it's not that, like easy, like it's like mostly work related. Yeah, we are better friends now, but that's still, it's like mostly it is still work related, and I can't really ask them in these type of situations to come with me. We're not that close. And then he's like, but you, I'm fine with asking you. And you can see obviously Arima is like, pretty happy about this, because yeah, she's like, all right, you know what, nice, that's nice, you're actually relying on me, you at least consider me as a person who you don't have to put any pretense against. And like you won't have to like put a mask in front of me, that type of thing. And then they start talking about the job. And he's like, she's like, oh, it's like the it will stop the filming very soon, wouldn't it, the reality TV show? And they talk about Yuki and Nobu, and then she talks about her, Akane and him. And she brings up the point, she's like, so tell me, who are you going for? Okay, so he's like, it's just a job, so it's not like that for me. But you have a type, don't you? A thing for like, like younger girls or older girls. What do you like, what? And here, interestingly, we get a little thought from Aqua. He talks about the whole situation again. Like I said, like this whole, like this love, what type of love this is, that he's kind of confused about, conflicted about. He again thinks about that. He says that lately I've been keenly aware. Oh no, not that. Sorry. He talks about the influence of the body and the, okay, this part. This part is very interesting because yeah, it makes so much sense. So he says that people's thinking is greatly influenced by their physical development. It is true. If you're a little kid, like your physical ways of doing stuff will be very limited. Like you cannot like stand up and start running. If you're a little toddler, you won't be able to do that. So in that way, I can understand that it makes so much sense that if you're a little kid, your mannerisms will be kind of like a little kid. It'll influence your body, even though your memories are of an old man. Not old man. I just called him an old man. He's not an old man though. But by this time, I guess he would have become an old man. But still, like he's like a adult, like a young adult. Like his thought process is like a young adult. But I can understand the fact that him being confined in a little toddler's body would influence that. And it makes so much sense because there's the body limitations. There's a body limitation you have when you're a kid and when you're a young adult. It's a different. Both of them are different. And similar to that, like just imagine like an old man, like in the 80s or in the 90s, who are like probably very like physically weak. They cannot properly walk. Just imagine them getting like reincarnated in a little kid, like a young adult or something. Obviously, they like it'll be a very weird experience, wouldn't it? Because up until a few days ago, when he was an old man, he couldn't walk properly, and now he can run and jump around. That type of thing. So it makes sense, like your body influences your thought process and everything. And yeah, when I was a baby, it was hard to make firm memories due to infantile amnesia. True, that is also another thing. Because like people don't really remember what happened when they were a kid because infantile amnesia. And during puberty, one's second growth period, I strongly felt a heightened awareness of those around me. Yeah. And then he says that as I grow, my mind increasingly suits my body and my environment. Yeah. The boundary between me and Aqua Hoshino is steadily vanishing. Another thing, if you think about it, when you're a kid, like like when you're a toddler, not a toddler, but like maybe like when you can properly talk, but still you're like you're still a little kid, like 5 to 6 years of age. At that age, if you think about it, even if you have like the thoughts and process of a young adult, like you won't be able to talk to those people. You'll be talking with people of your same age. So your thought process is also going to get changed like that. Like the only people you'll be talking to at that age are people of your own age. Like you won't be talking to an adult. You'll be talking to a kid. So being like that also changes your thought process as well. Like I can understand it. Like like it makes so much sense what he's trying to say here. And he says like the boundary between me and Aqua Hoshino is steadily vanishing because now he's an adult and now he's almost at the same age as I was. No, wait. Oh no no wait he's talking about himself. Wait, I need to read this part. The boundary between me and Aqua Hoshino. Oh, he's saying that boundary between me, the me in quotation here is him, the original one, the original doctor or whatever, and Aqua Hoshino is steadily vanishing. So he's getting more used to, like his thought process is actually catching up to this physical development now, that type of thing. Okay, I see. I kind of misread this part. I thought he was talking about I. Okay, never mind. So I love this part. Arima's like I've always wanted to ask you, but I've been scared to ask, And I'm like, what is she going to say? Like, is she going to say something like, oh, you're kind of like, always a little bit, your age and like, these type of things are always kind of like a little bit out of like, touch. You act like an old man or something. Like, is she going to say something like that? But no, she's like, are you a chunibyo? And she's like, hurry up and grow out of it. It's cringy. She throws. It makes sense, like if a little kid starts talking about these type of like philosophical or like these type of things, you might say like, oh, that's Chuny, like he's a Chuny or something like that. But no, he's genuinely acting his own age now. But anyways, he throws the ball hard at her and. Okay, he says that I view girls around my age as potential love interests, so yeah, there's no doubt I prefer them a bit above me in age. And she's like, wait, you like older girls? And then she's like, alright, wait a minute, I'm also older than him. And she's like, oh, that's nice. But then suddenly she comes to realization, she's like, wait a minute, like Akan is also older than him. And she's like, okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, and she like in the end she was happy. She was like, all right, you know what, like talking about this, like this whole situation, like how you're actually being real to me, and how this is the first time you're playing baseball with someone. You don't have any person to play with them. You don't have any person who you can show your original feelings to. I'm glad about that, I'm glad that I'm the first person that you're, like being this frank with, and like that type of thing. And like it is true, if you think about it, I feel like the only person, like it's kind of like, if you think about it, it makes like, it kind of like hits you. The only person he's actually completely like very frank with is Arima. Like he's not this frank even with Miyako. If you think about it, Miyako or anyone, I cannot really like find out anyone who he's this frank with. Neither his sister, like because there's a lot of things he kind of hides from his sister, and there's like a persona he also tries to keep in front of his sister. However, the only person I feel like who he's completely frank with and like is just showing his original feeling towards is Arima. I don't see anyone else like him being close to anyone else like this. Like he's actually genuinely like like very open in front of Arima. Like I do wonder why that is. Like if you think about it, why is it like that? It's probably because Arima's personality is like this, Like, there's a few people like you can probably like like a few of you might be able to relate. There's a few people like like I'm sure you have a lot of friends, like a lot of people have a lot of friends, and among those friend group, there's always those few people who you feel like you can be frank, very, very frank towards, very open towards. They're more like like it's like it's their personality. That you're very open towards them. Like, and then there's a few friends who, yeah, you're good friends with, but at the same time, you kind of still keep your own like thing to yourself, and like kind of like you don't really be that open to them. That doesn't mean that you're not good friends with them. It's just that type of thing. Like it's like a vibe that you get from the other person. Like, oh, this person, I can be actually my own, like an original self in front of them. It's their own personality and then own charisma that probably brings that out of you. and someone who you're compatible with, more compatible with, like you can be open towards them, and they also kind of like, like are very open towards you as well. That type of thing. I feel like that's what's going on here, because otherwise I don't see any other reason why he's so frank and so open towards Arima. Arima probably has that personality which makes the other person be comfortable, you know, when they're interacting with you, and when they're, that type of thing, I feel like. And yeah, so anyways, let's move on. Okay, so after that, he, like an Aqua, thinks that sure enough, my feelings towards Akane Kurokawa aren't of that nature. There you go. Like he just made it clear over here. I owe Arima my gratitude. Now, like I said, for now at least he doesn't look at Akane like that. However, if I don't know what's going to happen in the future of this anime, but if he's able to look at Akane's original personality and start liking that, Akane as herself, then this relationship might progress. Otherwise, I don't see any future in this relationship. No future if this like, keeps going like this. But like, this is just the beginning, so I'm sure they'll get more closer, and they'll probably, I don't know, like maybe in the future Aqua will actually start liking Akane for herself. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so he's like, I've sorted out my feelings, and okay, he says that, okay, next we get to see in the like in the set, in the TV show set, he's asking Akane that the way you made, like took Ice persona, it felt too real. How did you manage to do it? And she's like, oh, it wasn't that impressive. I do read books on profiling. I just did a bunch of research and interpreted her in my own way. Now, this is such an interesting thing that she says here. So what she says is basically, I read her books, I saw what type of person she is, and I studied her personality, I studied what she does in what type of situations. I've seen a lot of her videos, I've seen how she interacts with people, how she interacts in interviews and everything. And in my head, I've made a backstory. That's literally what she did. She made a backstory, like connecting those dots. So basically, like in a more simpler way, you see anime characters in front of your, like, in your screen. You see a particular two character, you see them, a particular one character, you see them, and just imagine a situation where you don't have any backstory for them. The anime hasn't really shown a backstory to you. What has happened to them, why they are here, none of that. But you have, like, the character has a lot of screen time, but they don't have any backstory. So in that type of situation, you've seen the characters so much and studied them so much that you in your head start thinking of a backstory. And you're like, oh, he or she acts like this in this type of situation. That must mean something like this must have happened in his or her life. That's what Akane did. And that's kind of crazy if you think about it. She's a detective. She this is what detectives do. Like, what the hell? And oh my god, so that's what she did. She knew she had the stuff in front of her. She saw and studied Akane Ai so much that she started getting, like kind of thinking of like backstories of what it might have happened in her life. And she's pretty much correct about a lot of things, because the first thing that she says the first thing that she says is like, one of my assumptions is, for example, that I actually had a child in secret. Immediately she just locks on. And Ak was like, what the hell? And okay, if I do, and you can see, like, Aqua's star becomes like gloomy, like that dark color it takes. And she says, if I do that, it allows me to achieve coherence between her various emotions and understand the reasons behind her many inexplicable actions. Like I said, this is what a detective does. Like, just deducing what that person is. Okay, so she says, like, what type of stuff she's thinking, what kind of personality did she have. The answers come into view like mathematical puzzles. And he asks, like, how much grasp do you have of I's thought processes? And she's like, oh, I know a lot of things, from the way she lived her life to what kind of guys she was into. I think I have pretty much figured it out. And immediately here I realized that I thought here that, oh no, so this is something that Aqua might try to use. Because he needs this. He needs this type of like person who would be able to kind of give him the answers. She was pretty spot on with the kid. So whatever she'll deduce about the people she interacts with, I interacts with, what type of guys she interacted with, whatever she'll deduce will probably be almost spot on, and that's going to help him a lot in his investigation. And you can see here Akane's eyes kind of glow again with the star, which shows her talent. And yeah, not Aqua, sorry, Akane's eyes glow when it shows her talent. And Aqua here, yeah, he's like, the entertainment industry is a place where talent gathers. And yeah, so he's like, okay, I'm going to read this part because quite a few things were happening. Like the visuals were showing what happened to the end of the show, while he was talking about a lot of other things. I'm going to read that. As for what Ai Hoshino, the freewheeling epitome of talent, was feeling, and what she hoped to do, I still hadn't been able to understand in the slightest. And while all of this was happening, he was talking about this. We see Yuki and Nobu. Nobu confesses to Yuki, and Yuki rejects him. And I was so surprised. I was like, what the hell? But then it makes sense. Like I said, like we get to know in the end, she wanted to keep this a secret, and I'm pretty sure she wanted Akane to shine, because that would have been better for the show in itself. Because people are kind of getting hooked with this whole Akane and Aqua ship. So she also probably wanted to help Akane shine a little bit as well, because she's her friend. And okay, so he says, I dare say that the talent known as Akane Kurokawa understands I far more deeply than I do, despite the years I spent with her. True. While we see this other guy, I forgot his name, he's confessing to Memcho, and Memcho's like, I'm sorry, and is imitating her behavior perfectly. Yep, that is Akane, what she's doing. I love how the guy just, I think his name was Kengo or something like that. He just dashes away, like runs away after getting rejected. Okay, Aqua says, we have a purely working relationship. While saying this, he comes in front of Akane. Once the show is over, I suspect we won't see each other anymore. And okay, so he confesses here, I'm guessing, and kissed her. And he says but I can use Kurokawa Akane. And here we go. Like I said, this is the thing. So he's going to keep being her boyfriend, or this whole thing. And he's going to, as he says, use Akane to help his investigation out. So that's what he's planning to do. I can't just let her go now. Now here's the thing. Did he really kiss her? I don't think so. It seems like he, they kind of, if you remember, was it in this show, was it in some other show that I remember, that they kind of said that in these type of situations, the camera angle and the way they kiss, sometimes they actually don't kiss. Maybe he's kissing her over here, not in the lips, here, and the camera angle kind of made it show like that or something. Because in a weird, he kind of goes in a weird way, tries to kiss her in a weird way, towards the side. I feel like, I'm not really sure. Maybe he really did kiss her. I'm not really sure. Either way, in front of the audience, they kissed, and this is the new couple that has come out of this show. And yeah, he's saying I cannot let her go now, because she's going to help me a lot. And yeah, that was the end. The couple has been formed. The show has ended, and you can see Arima is very sad. All right. Next, after that, the show party. They're all of them are talking about the whole thing. Okay, so everyone's asking Akane, are you going to continue this whole this girlfriend boyfriend thing? Okay, so then they talk about Yuki, about her, like, her, and Yuki's like, I really am, like, I don't know anything about this. I really don't have a boyfriend. This is the first time, like, I'm actually even doing something like this. And she says, like, there's a lot of people like this, like a lot of models like that as well. You'll be surprised. Even for idols and actresses, I don't think the person with boyfriends is different from typical girls. That is true. I can see that. And yeah, Nobu says naturally at agencies that ban dating as a selling point, the ratio seems to be lower. Yeah, there you go. Especially in the idol industry. And sometimes the relationship gets exposed, all that. While all of this is happening, Aqua leaves. And yeah, now here this guy, the guy who, like Aqua talked to, the cameraman guy or whatever, the staff, he says that, he came in the whole conversation. He's like, yeah, from here onwards, it's up to you guys. Like up until now, this whole thing, but here onwards, you do what you like. We are not here anymore. Like we're not going to force you to do a relationship or not do a relationship. It's all up to you. This is your life, and yeah, from here onwards, the staff won't get involved. And he says like there's a lot of other pairs that actually got married. And a lot also for a few months at least kept this going, and then they they broke up because at least for a few months they have to keep this going, otherwise the fans will be disappointed, I guess. And he says like there's a lot of rotten individuals who might exploit young talent like you and toss you aside. Don't let that happen. This is an advice from another rotten adult to you. So there you go. And he's like, "Where's the other kid?" And yeah, Aqua's actually outside talking to this guy who he has asked for the information on Aqua, and he is he's sly, He's like, "Oh, you did a good job. I applaud you for that." But that whole behind the scenes thing that you did, that you exposed, it isn't part of the policy. We don't usually do that. I was thinking I actually going to Strawberry Productions and actually getting some reimbursement from them. Uh, and he's like, and Aka's like, yeah, but you know what? Nothing bad happened. The end result was okay, right? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And Aqua still continues. He's like, cast members being able to upload candid photos and videos to the show's official social media accounts is written into the contract. He just says, he's like, yeah, you know what? You think you're smart. I did my research. I know what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. So don't come at me with these type of statements. I know what I'm doing. And yeah. And he says which is why I uploaded the video to an official social media account. I did my job to the letter of the contract. Yeah, he found a loophole. That's all he did. But it is in the contract that you can do that. So there you go. You cannot really complain to me. And he's like, you're a shrewd one, aren't you? And he's like, all right, you know what? You did a fine job. How about we go to sushi next week? I'll talk about I over there to you, and I give you information. All right. Later on, Yuki and Nobu comes and brings Aqua in, and they kind of pair Aqua and Akane together, and Aqua and Akane talking to each other, and Akane is like, so what now? Is our relationship a work one, or is this for real? Is this a real deal? And Aqua says here that it's not like that. Like our relationship is more of a more work one. I cannot really look at you like that. And she says I understand you don't seem as a girl, a potential love interest, question mark. And he's like, I can tell that much. And he says that is true, but I do agree and I do wholeheartedly believe that I am attracted to to the part of you who is the actress. I think that's what he says. Wait a minute, let me read that part. Okay, I'm very interested in you as an actress. There you go. As an actress. And he's not wrong, because as we know, he's literally going to use that aspect of Akane in his own investigation, because he wants Akane to give him more hints about what because her talent is like that. She can literally make up these backstories which are almost correct most of the time, because that's how smart she is. And he says like this is not a lie, and Akane is like, all right, you know what, I'm happy with that, at least you're interested in me in some way. And she's like, yeah, these are the things that I'm the most happiest to hear. Then let's be a boyfriend and girlfriend as part of our job. And yeah, besides, we've already got enough real couples here with Yuki and her man. And he's like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, you didn't realize? They're going out together. And she was correct. She was actually like, right. Yuki really doesn't have any type of experience in these type of situations. So Nobu's probably her first boyfriend. And Aqua's like, then why did he reject her? She reject him. And like obviously it's pretty obvious why she rejected him, because she didn't want anyone else to, like, like, okay, she turned him down during filming. She's a technician, isn't she? But I quite like that about Yuki. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I can see what Akane is saying here, because, like, as she says, like, she's quite, like, sly in these type of situations, but genuine as a person, genuinely, she's nice. She's a good person, even though she does have these type of things where she kind of manipulates stuff here and there. As a person, she's very good. And like, this is so true. I feel like there's a lot of people like this, even in, like, like in the, like, in the real world as well. Like, people who you can see that they kind of, like, like, they kind of manipulate a lot of things and talk in a way, like, but whatever they do is not really harmful to others. Like, there's actually bad people who manipulate you into, like, doing bad stuff, and doing, like, like, and actually like, doing harm to you and doing harm to others, while there are a few people who does these type of things, manipulate stuff to kind of make a situation better, or to, like, for the good, they do it. And genuinely, they are actually genuinely good person. That is Yuki. That is basically Yuki, because, like, Aqua kind of realized from the beginning that Yuki is a person who is extremely smart, and she kind of manipulates a lot of things. And that's why he kind of, like, kind of mocked Ruby, when Ruby was like, oh, this person, she is the most pure out of all of them. She's very nice. Like, she's a person of her word. And and Aqua was like, yeah, you should probably not date anyone for a few years, because you don't know people, you can't understand people, you're not able to, like, you're dumb in these type of situations. So that, like, that is the thing. Like, she is manipulative, but in a good way. She doesn't really harm anyone in that form. As a person, she's genuinely nice, and that's what Akane is saying here. And she's like, that is why I like her. you know hmm. And you can see here, this part is kind of quite funny, because you see, Akane says, like, Yuki has her very first boyfriend, it seems. Aqua says, I guess you can never tell. If you remember, Aqua kind of, like, came to a conclusion that, like I said, he thought that Yuki is very manipulative and she might not be a good person. But here you can see that in the end he realized that, yeah, you know what, my judgment was wrong. I guess you can never tell. Shouldn't really judge a book by its cover. And yeah, that type of thing. Like, he realized that this is probably the first, like, not the first time, but this is probably one of the times that he was wrong in judging someone. Like, she's genuinely a good person, and like, she does manipulate others, but whatever she says, like, like, to her friends and everything, those are truth. She doesn't really manipulate others for, like, something bad. She does it for the good. And yeah, as a person, she's genuine. Okay, so after that they bid goodbye, and Memcho is, like, going in the same direction as Aqua. And, like, like, here Memcho starts talking about her dream. She had a dream which was uh, becoming an idol. Yeah, he says, like, your stuff. Bikomachi was before your time, right? And she's like, yeah, because I wanted to be an idol. I kind of, like, know about these type of things. But then I tried to, like, when I became a YouTuber, because I didn't have the opportunity. And here, obviously, I was like, you know what? Yeah, he's definitely going to recruit her because first of all, the opening shows her being with the group, with Biko Machiya, Ruby, Arima, and Memcho. So it's pretty obvious he's going to recruit her. And the fact that like she literally said that I wanted to be an idol, he definitely is going to recruit her, and that's what he does. He's like, all right, you know what? You can join us. Like we're a new company, we're the new B Komachi. You can join us as an idol. And you see how like genuinely shocked and surprised she was. And I feel like this is probably the first time we actually see her original feelings or her original emotions. Like up until now, she always had this whole YouTube persona of this happy, bubbly, like girl. Like even in front of her friends, she kept this persona. But here, after realizing that she's getting the chance of her lifetime of becoming an idol, which she probably still in her heart she always longs for, after she realized that, she her original emotions come out for the first time. It is expressed in her face. And yeah, so there you go. I'm sure next episode we'll see her joining Bikomachi alongside obviously the other two, Ruby and Arima. They're going to make a unit, an idol unit. And yeah, they'll probably, and I'm guessing this is the like in this episode 8, I think. Yeah, the few episodes that are left, I'm guessing we're probably going to focus on Ruby and her idol group. So that's what I'm guessing. But let's see what happens. Either way, that is the conclusion of this whole dating thing, this reality dating TV show thing. And yeah, like Akane and Aqua did kind of start dating, you could say, but more of a work type of thing it is. And like one thing I'm quite happy about, and I'm quite genuinely glad about, is that Aqua actually was very frank with Akane. He didn't really trick her or try to deceive her. Like, he was like, you know what, this is I cannot really look at you that way, at least not now. And I look at you in a more like a work type of person, as like, and I'm attracted to that actress inside of you. I'm attracted to that. He was genuinely he was real. He was very real here. He didn't trick her, he didn't try to deceive her, because there was one part of me that was kind of fearing that. I was thinking like, I hope that he doesn't really lie to her and say something like, oh yeah, I genuinely like you, and they start dating and he tries to use her. I was kind of fearful of that, because I didn't want to see Aqua doing something like that. But it turns out no, he genuinely told her that, you know what, but yeah, as a work partner, I think we can do this. And Akane also acknowledges that and accepted that. So that's one good thing. I'm very glad that he went in this direction, unlike not really deceived her in a way, emotional way or something. No, that would have been very bad. But anyways, that is it, guys. That's my reaction to episode 8 of Oshinoko. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, and comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Oshinoko. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.